Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. There's the market bell. Welcome to another market open stream. Today I'm talking about Bitcoin heading up to $200,000 if it is following this pattern that a lot of people recognize. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about what else is going on in the world today. Welcome. The bell has just rung. Bitcoin has gained back what it lost yesterday. We're back to 30,700. And can we see 31,000 again today? The momentum is back. Bitcoin has been so strong, guys. So strong. Unlike previous pumps where we see like kind of a peak and then we just drop right back down below a certain level, right? Look at it. Bitcoin after surpassed 30,000 is not coming down. The FOMO is real. The buying is real. The accumulation is also real. And are we going to break 31,000 or this point specifically 31,600 and keep on going? I think that's right around the corner. Right around the corner. Today, the U.S. market is looking kind of mixed. Oops, that's the European market. The U.S. market, hey, it keeps defaulting to Europe. U.S. market is it's about even right now. It's about even. That's because I covered this last night. I'll cover a little bit more today. That's because the Federal Reserve Chair Powell made some speech yesterday and said there's more rate hikes coming. And people do not like that. Wall Street does not like that at all. Who wants more rate hikes? But you know, the Federal Reserve says, don't worry. We put 23 of the biggest banks out there through a recession test, and they're okay. They passed with flying colors. Here's what they don't realize, or what they didn't say. What about the banks that are not the top 23 biggest? Okay, that's the problem. Because as rates continue to go up, a lot of these smaller banks, regional banks, and smaller banks, they can't survive because they don't have any business. Business, commercial loans, residential loans, car loans, all these loans are dropping down because who wants to pay 8, 9, 10% for any loan right now, right? So even though the Federal Reserve is trying to say, well, don't worry, 23 of the biggest banks will be just fine, but what about the 24th or 25th or the 100th or the 150th biggest bank, right? Are they going to be in jeopardy? I guess we'll have to see. Or maybe the Federal Reserve still is loaning out money behind the scenes left and right that's kind of making sure they don't collapse. But you know, where's that money coming from, right? From printing and from us. So that kind of halted the momentum a little bit, but not for Bitcoin though, because Bitcoin momentum can't be halted. For today, we're going to get jobless claims. I don't know if that's out already. You got pending home sales that's coming out. And also tomorrow, we have a big core PC price index inflation reading. So again, are they going to make a difference with this next FOMC meeting, which we don't have to worry about for a full month, the end of July, right? Will it make a difference? Probably not, because Powell already said more rate hikes are coming. But if these numbers are starting to come in really, really badly, well, then it will make a difference. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So going back to Bitcoin, still holding strong. OTC market is doing this right now. Okay. Even though Glassnode does track OTC holdings and sales, but you really can't. You really can't, because there are a lot of brokers, a lot of people that are just making OTC transactions, and you don't know who they are. But despite that, whatever they're tracking is showing that the OTC desk holdings is going up. Okay, why is that? Again, momentum is back. The big boys, the whales, the institutions, they're all trying to figure out how to buy Bitcoin for cheap. okay? How to make sure that when they buy, it's not going to cause Bitcoin to go up. Keep in mind, us retail investors, we want to see the price go up because a lot of us hold a lot of Bitcoins already, right? Or Ethereum or Cardano or Solana, whatever it may be. We want to see the price go up. But these big boys, they don't want to see that. They want to put in $1 billion and see things not move at all. They want to accumulate as much as possible, right? So what do? They buy usually through OTC. They don't go through spot Coinbase or spot Binance because that would be ridiculous. Because if they put $1 billion trade, it's going to cause Bitcoin to pump up by like $10,000. Okay, so they don't want that. They want to do it behind the scenes. Okay, so OTC is definitely going up, but nowhere as close as the peak in 2021. But it's definitely rising, and you could definitely see the price action is following too, right? Now, OTC doesn't affect the order books on the centralized exchanges, but it does affect how much is available, okay? Because there's just so many Bitcoins. It's not like there's a lot of hidden Bitcoin somewhere. We could see exactly how much there is out there. And when these big whales are buying, even though it's behind the scenes, it's not causing a price movement, there's less exchanges out there for sale. I mean, less Bitcoin out there for sale, right? So this is very powerful. This is an insight into what's happening behind the scenes, which is showing there's a lot of accumulation that's happening. Now, this is what I want to show you guys. This shows that Bitcoin is heading to 200,000 and possibly beyond. And we're talking about the Wyckoff Accumulation, Wyckoff Pattern. And here's another one that extends it, Wyckoff Logic, okay? And Wyckoff is basically this guy from like 100 years ago that figured out that there's a pattern that stocks go through when there's large whales or institutions that's trying to accumulate and trying to cause people, retail people, to sell. There's certain things that they do for whatever reason, right? And people figured out a few years ago that Wyckoff also can be seen. This pattern can be seen in cryptos, specifically Bitcoin, because all these institutions, whales, start coming into Bitcoin, right? So if you're following this, this is what's coming. All right, we broke out of accumulation stage. We're about to head into the markup stage, and it makes sense because this is leading up to the halving event, okay? And halving event is about April or May of next year, right? So it's making sense that this is happening. And then we're going to get into the peak bull run, right? Kind of like the 2025 or end of 2024, beginning of 2025. We get that distribution, basically. We kind of just top out and go sideways a little bit. And then eventually we head back down. Now the time scale on the bottom here is a little bit off, but this is where we're heading to. After the halving event, and then we go into 2025, that last year, the bull run year, okay? Or the parabolic top year, I should say. That's what's going to happen. Now, this is zoomed out, so you just see a couple of this. But throughout this period, you're going to see a lot more movement, a lot more volatility, right? But keep in mind, with all the whales and institutions and Bitcoin ETFs that's coming up, right? There's going to be so much money coming in. Who knows what this pattern is really going to look like and how high Bitcoin will end up. Could be much higher. We could go to 250,000 or 300,000. 500,000, probably not 500,000. That's a little too high, but who knows where Bitcoin's going ahead. Okay? So, it's looking fantastic. It's looking good. Really, really good. And if you need more proof, here's another one. The EMA 20 on this is on the 5-day scale. Whenever it's almost like it's just one of those averages that is very bullish or very bearish for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin breaks below and can't go back above it, well, then it goes down pretty badly. Like in 2018, 2022, Bitcoin went down from that point about 52%. 2022 went down about 63% from that point. But you look at the opposite, the times where it did break above and kept going, like in 2020, well, yeah, that's a big percentage gain, right? And we have broke above it, and we are now utilizing as support. So again, what does this mean? This means it's very bullish for Bitcoin, extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And also part of fundamentals, percent of supply last active 1 year ago, 69%, all-time high. Bitcoin has never seen a number higher than it is now in terms of the number of Bitcoin not moved, okay, in 1 year. Again, accumulation, right? Accumulation, holding. I always argue this and people don't quite understand. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better than now. If you're measuring network usage, network addresses, the accumulation, the number of hodled coins, right? You look at all these things, Bitcoin is at all-time high. The hash rate, the difficulty, all-time high, despite the fact that the price is not at all-time high. But just think about it. Put two and two together. What does that mean? That means the price is lagging. It's lagging a lot. We should be above 69,000 already. So when the price does catch up, it's going to be tremendous. And it might overshoot it a little bit too. All right. What else? What else is there? North Carolina passes bill to study how holding Bitcoin can be profitable for the state. Wow. Wow. 73 out of the 120 members voting in favor, 40 against it, and the remaining 7 were absent. But basically sounds like North Carolina wants to start holding Bitcoin, just like everyone else. Why would you not want to? You don't need to study it. There's enough data out there. If they watch this channel, they would know, yeah, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Okay, so now even states. We know some states are very favorable towards Bitcoin miners because it helps improve the power grid. It also brings a lot of revenue for the state, right? It makes sense. Now you're having states saying, okay, let's go beyond that. Let's just start buying and holding Bitcoin. So, fantastic. Fantastic stuff. What else is there? Well, outside of Bitcoin, you still have a whole bunch of stuff happening. Tokenization is still huge. Even according to Bank of America, one of the largest banks out there, who does not really want to see Bitcoin or crypto or blockchain succeed, but they have no choice. Okay? They have to go with the flow or they will become disrupted. Okay? So, all these banks are getting involved and however they can. Tokenization is part of the future for sure. You could tokenize pretty much anything if you think about it. Anything physical, you could fractionalize it and tokenize it too, right? Houses, commercial property, the list is endless. So, what about Solana? There's a new bridge that allows Solana users to easily access any Ethereum-based blockchain called deBridge. Interesting. First time Solana user could access Ethereum virtual machine blockchains such as Arbitrum without relying on derivative tokens or wrap tokens. Well, this is good. Good overall for Solana. I don't hear a lot about Solana these days, to be honest. But interoperability with EVM-compatible chains, definitely a good thing. A good thing. Lastly, a couple of Coinbase news. Coinbase says SEC has no jurisdictions over crypto on Coinbase platform. That's true because a lot of the crypto that's listed on Coinbase are foreign projects that doesn't even reside in the U.S. It's just kind of silly that the SEC can target companies that's not even in the U.S. Okay, and they never even dealt with them. They didn't even communicate with them. Didn't even send them a Wells notice. They just proactively declared them securities just so that they could go after Coinbase. And it probably did so because, first of all, they don't like Coinbase suing them. And second of all, Gary Gensler, he was probably told he needed to do something fast. Okay, someone's pulling the strings, telling him, you need to curb You need to stop this momentum, right? And Gary Gensler went after the two biggest people he knew, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, and CZ of Binance, and he sued them both. And despite that, look at what BlackRock did and look at the price action of Bitcoin and entire crypto market cap, still upwards, right? But I'm glad to see Brian Armstrong and Coinbase fight this. They're not caving in, not like Robinhood or whoever that just bent their knee without even being asked. Okay, so good for Coinbase. And their stock actually has been climbing up. I thought their stock would actually take a hit, but their stock has been going up like crazy. So if you look at the last month, look at that. Their low point was at 47, and now they're at 72. That's just within a month, almost doubling. So people are definitely recognizing that Coinbase is strong. And plus, let's not forget, they have a relationship with BlackRock. BlackRock is going to use Coinbase custody for all the Bitcoins that they will be buying for their spot Bitcoin ETF. And who knows? Coinbase may be holding billions for them already. They don't have to disclose that. So, I mean, Coinbase is actually looking pretty good. And they're working with Canada too. Make sure that Canada employs fair laws around crypto, okay? That Canada won't be another US or in terms of crypto regulation. But the funny thing is, Coinbase is the only one that likes these new laws that's coming for Canada. All the other exchanges left. Coinbase shut down. What is it? What was it? No, there's another one. Bybit shut down. There's a few derivative ones that shut down. So, but Coinbase says yes. So I don't know. You know, there's still competition there. But yeah, Coinbase is looking pretty darn good as well. All right. And then entire market cap, Bitcoin dominance is still climbing. Wow. Bitcoin dominance now up to 50.5%. So Bitcoin is gaining strength while others are not doing much. Not doing much. Kind of steady. Solana had a big jump today. Wow, Solana, maybe because of this new deBridge, that's what caused them to jump. But a lot of others that have not moved at all. Polkadot have not moved. Cardano not really, XRP not really, BNB not really, even Ethereum not really. I mean, Bitcoin is leading the way for sure. All right, let's do some Q&A. I just realized I was in mute. Sorry. Sorry. I just gave a really thoughtful response to Speedy, who said he picked up a bag of Avalanche today. Do you think he'll smash an all-time high next cycle? The answer is yes. Yes. A lot of these mid caps, small caps, they're still 5x, 6x away from peak. And I think they're going to break through that. Could do 10x easy in the next bull run. But these small caps, they could do a lot more. Especially micro caps, 20x, 30x, we could see them. And some of these, they have fallen 99% from previous peak, right? Can they come back? I think people underestimate how bullish and how much FOMO happens during these peak times. It could certainly happen. What do you think about China and not pumping as it should in June? Remarks. They're just not ready. A lot of exchanges don't operate in Hong Kong. Okay, I know Hong Kong's trying to get Coinbase over there. So it seems like there's a lot of things still being worked out. Okay. But here's the thing. Now that they turn bullish during this markup time, during this distribution time, that just means there's another avenue for more FOMO, for more people to come in. And we're talking about over 1 billion people that could possibly be coming in this next bull run. 1 billion more people, okay? So don't worry about it. It's a positive thing and will only lead to better days. Man, look at Coinbase stock go. Up 4% today. Man, Coinbase is so strong. So strong. I had some Coinbase options, and I think I did very well, but they're expired now. But man, really strong. What about Riot is up, good. MicroStrategy up. MicroStrategy up about 3.66% today over the month. Ooh, yeah, they were down to 270, now 340 basically. They're looking pretty good. Tesla, Riot is up about 6%. So Riot goes up and down. So yeah, you can see, even though they fell down to here, but they're still basically at previous peak. So, but they're coming back too. The miners, they're getting stronger. Johnny 5, good morning to you as well. You still smashing Red Bull on a daily? No, I haven't drank a Red Bull for a while. Man, love to see Bitcoin smash through 31,000 today. Today will be a marvelous day to do so. You know, the last 2 times, Bitcoin stopped right around here, 31,000. One time we had 31,400. If we could smash through 31.6, well, let's see. Let's see where next stop would be. We smash through 31.6. I would say the next stop would be right around here. Ooh, it's like 33,000. 33 or like 34. Man, there's not much between 31.6 and like 34, like right here. Yeah. So that's another like almost 10% from here, right? Crypto GD, that's funny. The thing is, look at all the other channels, right? They have like 1 million people behind the scenes, working sound, working this, working that. I'm still by myself, at least when I'm doing these live streams, right? Like I'm using OBS, I mute and unmute my mic, I have a couple screens, I got a camera and a microphone, right? I'm doing this all by myself. I talk to so many creators, other creators that have like 1 million people behind the scenes, right? And they're just bleeding out in terms of salaries. And same thing, some of the smaller creators, they have like 3 or 4 guys on the team, and it makes no sense. It just cuts into their revenue, and some of them don't even have any revenue. So I try to do as much as I can by myself without hiring, but I do have a small team that helps with other things. But in terms of production, it's just me by myself. Even when I go into my new studio, it's going to be by myself. Yeah, that's just my thoughts around that. Lazaro, we will be standing, only the strongest survive. True, 100% true. Where's the 12K army? Any update on the next crypto gem? Not really. I mean, there's trailers and previews being released by Hourglass on Twitter, so make sure you follow them. But the show is coming soon, either end of July or early August, right? And the timing of it is awesome because if Bitcoin continues to go up and the market is favorable, the shows go do even better. Okay, so I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I was in it, but they're doing a lot of cuts. They're making it into a real TV show, and it'll be interesting. And I think you guys will like what happens within and the projects within. Sam Stud, appreciate that, man. Orange Lambo, here's the thing. I figured out a really easy way. Taking profits is always hard. No one wants to take profits, okay? And I still fall for this. It's not like I perfected it because, emotions run high, greed takes over, no one wants to ever sell. Make sure you have about 20, 25, 30% in cash. Okay, I've said that. Today, it doesn't matter if it's a down market or up market. Try to have that cash portfolio, okay? So in a bull run, when things are starting to go up, you'll realize that that cash portfolio, the percentage starts dropping because your portfolio is gaining, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything is going to start going upwards. So your cash pile starts diminishing. That is when you should take profits. You're like, okay, maybe I'm a little too heavy now, right? I need to take some off the table in case something goes wrong or in case I need to continue DCA, whatever the case may be, right? So I think that's a really easy strategy for profit taking. When you notice that you're not at 20, 25, 30% in cash, start selling and make sure that that pool is always around that percentage. That way you'll be protected no matter what. Lazaro, thank you, my man. Brian says, Matic is 50% of my portfolio. That's a huge amount of Matic. Would you DCA or would you just be throwing money, good money after the bad? Would you recommend keep buying? I can't recommend anything to you, but I can say Polygon is a fantastic project. I don't think they're going to go away at all. They will recover, okay? But 50% in Matic, to me, I would say, if that was my portfolio, I'd be adding others. Okay, you can't ignore Bitcoin. So by being 50% in Polygon, you probably have felt the pain because Polygon, for example, has gone down 31% in the last 30 days. Okay, or 30% in the last 30 days. While Bitcoin is up almost 10%. That's a 40% difference. Your portfolio could be up by 40% had you had all Bitcoin versus all Matic, right? So that's why it's important to have Bitcoin. A lot of people have this notion that Bitcoin is too big, it's too slow moving, I'm not going to make any money with it, okay? And that's wrong. That's wrong. You need to have Bitcoin in your portfolio for that stability. And there are times where Bitcoin will just outperform everything. And it's really, really hard to live through those times when you see everything else is not moving or down versus Bitcoin. And then it defeats the purpose of holding anything else, right? So make sure you're diversified. At least that's my opinion. No financial advice given here. You guys do whatever you want with your money, but 50-25-25 rule, I think that's a pretty good one. 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in small caps and micro caps. I think that's a good good allocation. Your thoughts about KuCoin is okay if you leave it there. You better do KYC. I don't know if they're going to... I don't know what they're going to do if you don't do KYC. I think they'll allow you to withdraw, but then you won't be able to do anything else. Oceanic, why take that chance? Why not just move it off for now? Move it to another exchange, or better yet, move it to a self-custody wallet and wait it out and see. You don't want to have it locked in there, right? So just be careful. Jack Daniels, OKX is the second biggest exchange out there, right? They're huge. They do have a Web3 wallet. I've talked to a few people I've met in Miami. I have never used it, so I can't say how good their platform is and stuff, but I don't think Binance is leaving Europe. France is a huge place for Binance, and I don't think they would go anywhere. But if you wanted to move to OKX, why not? Like, to me, it doesn't really matter. If you can get your trades in and you have one that you're comfortable with, that you can get your trades in, that's all that matters, right? It's just a matter of comfort, I guess, preference. Scott J is talking to the 12K army. According to Scott, people wake up. If Bitcoin did not hit 12K when FTX collapsed, which is the biggest debacle in the financial markets history, and did not budge on SEC lawsuit, it's not going to happen, recession or not. I agree with that. I've made that point too. I mean, if Bitcoin was going to fall to 12K, it would have done so. When it was bleak at 15K, it was only 3K off. It could have done so. Right? But I found it funny, while Bitcoin was recovering back to 20, 25, now 30, There's still some people saying that it could happen. I don't know if they're still clinging on that, but you know, at this point, you just got to recognize that we are recovery. We're not, unless some major disaster happens on a global scale, okay, we're not going to see that happen. We're definitely recovering up, whether we're following this Wyckoff accumulation or not, but just pay attention to what's going on. When BlackRock and all these other guys are trying to get involved, you know something big is about to happen. So that's all I have to say about that 12K. Yeah, that's it. All right. Overall, today's a pretty good day. Oh, look at Riot's rallying. Coinbase is rallying. Yeah, Coinbase up 5%. U.S. market, though, is not. Well, no, now it's rallying. It started about even in red. I don't know why this is defaulting to Europe now. I am not in Europe right now. But basically, today looks like it's a green day. And Bitcoin is a green day. Everything is a green day. So it's good. Can Bitcoin hit 200,000 in the future at the tail end of this next bull run? I certainly think so. And there's a lot of things pointing in that direction, not just from Wyckoff accumulation, but also you look at the fundamentals, right? You look at the landscape. You look at even states looking to hold Bitcoin. Just think about that. All right? So I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.